So each frequency which has a magnitude has an effect which is needed to sustain the life within us. So the life force is sustained by magnetic understanding, which is mainly based upon the operation of how connected we are to a certain vibration. So depending on your vibration, which will determine the type of food you will need. Like we said earlier, a vegan will probably need less. A vegetarian would need slightly more. Someone that eats a lot of meat food will actually need more food, will eat more generally, based upon the magnetic need. So then that person is dense. So the lighter you are, the less you need, and the better you feel. If it's expressed in its physical form, think about how it feels in its highest form. You know, people take so many substances to feel high. But having a natural high is actually the real way of going about this. Natural high is in the self. And as we become naturally in tune with ourselves, we then rise up the ladder above. And then we understand what true happiness really means. So, let me give you certain techniques to help you remove certain vices and frequencies and energies. One of the things would be to first deal with them on a willpower level, where you fight with your willpower and you act accordingly to your willpower. Meaning that if a vice are you know, coming back, say you have a negative trait, the best thing to do is to deal with it and start acting, and not react to it, but just observe it as it is and like move on. The key is not to suppress something, but to just be aware of its expression, to express itself. So then you are able to watch it in its detail, so it doesn't affect you the way it's trying to affect you. So that's one of the techniques that you can use. Exercise. Any form of exercise strengthens your willpower. Alcohol weakens your willpower, makes you sad. Cigarettes does the same thing. Now, anything that makes you vibrate higher has the effect to transform you and help you beat the vices and conquer those vices to their weaknesses. So, another key, listen to frequencies which are high in terms of tones. So sound frequencies, on my website you will find sound frequencies which will resonate you to a higher nature, a higher frequency. If negative traits starts popping up, recite certain mantras, have affirmations ready, prepared to decompose those vices, those weaknesses. Work on your weakest points more than your strengths. Be productive, think wise on different ways of combating those weaknesses. Use astrology formulas. Get a natal reading from a Vedic astrologer or a Western astrologer. Seek into your negative traits, write them down, see which will affect you the most, work on the ones that will affect you the most. So now let me quote some books. So these are ways that you can eliminate some of the vices within you, and then from there you can move on and rise to the higher ladder through meditation. Meditation will eventually rise you higher and bring you closer to true happiness also. So The Science of Love is definitely a recommended book which will actually tap into the understanding of the energy, sexual energy, and understanding relationships as well. So relationships is a must key in life. Another book which is actually ideally very powerful, The Alchemical Sex by E.G. Gold. This book will actually explain to you the relationship between yourself and how to reconnect with your higher self. Understanding the energy which floats within you. right? Also, in relations to relationships, I would like to also quickly add, just before the tape actually finishes, that when one gets into a relationship, many people believe that the relationship is actually driven by them. Sometimes it can be based upon past life karmic, which would then relate to what it means by having a soul mate. A soul mate is based upon karma, so each soul resonates to a certain frequency. So here's the key to relationships and understanding how relationships are driven. We may think we have relations with a woman or with a man, but actually it is our relationship with the entities invoked by the relationship which feeds our addictions and keeps us in ordinary relationships. So relationships are actually driven by what addictions we have accumulated, and thus this is why it's actually better to get into a relationship really when you've conquered your vices, when you've become your true self, when you've cleared out negativity from within you. Then you can find something more refined, something more spiritual, divine. Because right now you're just fighting vices inside of you. You actually are actually in an ego relationship, fighting something which is not actually you, but it's something, an element or a thought form which is actually fighting within you. Orgone will actually help rebalance some of these things. So like having some of these things will remove, but however, you have to deal with them with your inner self first. Your inner self needs to you within your inner self needs to work on those things. So this book must get if you want to begin the transformation of the self. Also, another book I would like to initiate one to look into, depending on the which way one wants to go up the ladder. If one wants to go into self-realization, Initiation into Hermetics is a great book to climb up the ladder.